what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? It's Noah here and welcome back to another new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about getting a 100k score in the Nightfalls. And for this video, we're not really going to be talking about specific Nightfall. I'm just going to give you some general Nightfall tips that work with every Nightfall so you can always get that 100k score and get that pinnacle year and also get whatever other goodies you're getting from the Nightfall. But let's not waste too much time, let's get into it and talk about the Nightfalls. Alright, so the very first thing that we're going to talk about is the difficulty. What is the difficulty you should choose if you're going for the 100k Nightfall? Well, I think that the best difficulty for getting 100k on all of the strikes is pretty much Legend. The middle one basically, the 1250 one. It may not be 1250 by the time you watch this video, it may have gotten a power increase, but you know it's this one, the Legend one. This one is the one where you are going to consistently hit 100k score in pretty much all the strikes. You can actually get away with getting a 100k score at a lower one at hero, but only in certain strikes. In some other strikes, there's just not enough enemies for you to actually get 100k on hero. So to make 100k easier and also possible for some of them, you definitely gonna have to run the Legend. The only bad thing about this difficulty of Nightfall is that there's no matchmaking. So you're gonna have to get your own pre-made fire team before you're going into this, since there's no matchmaking. But on the opposite side, a good thing about this Nightfall is that exotics drop pretty often, and you also get some pretty good enhancement prisms out of it. So this is definitely going to give you some good loot, and you're also going to get the extra loot from the 100k. Okay, so now that we have our Nightfall difficulty, we gotta talk about the modifiers. There's a couple of modifiers that are going to be pretty much on every Nightfall, and there's a couple of exclusive ones to certain Nightfalls. The first one and the last one will usually be specific to that Nightfall. Well, the ones in between, the four in between, are going to be just for every Nightfall. So that's pretty much the ones that we're going to talk about today. The ones that apply to every Nightfall. The ones that are Nightfall specific are usually like maybe more void damage, more environmental damage, more knockback. There's something specific to that strike, so make sure you always check that. But we're going to talk about the other ones today. I think that we should start with the champions. You're always going to have two types of champions in every Nightfall. It could be Unstoppable, it could be Anti-Barrier, it could be Overload. Whichever it is, whichever combination of the three, you're always going to have two of them. So always make sure that you have the right mods for those champions. If you're wondering where to get the mods to deal with these champions, they are in the artifact, and you're going to equip them on your gauntlets. So just look for a type of weapon that you like that deals with that champion, whether it's hand cannons for Unstoppables, auto rifles for Overloads, scout rifles for Overloads, anti-barrier for pulse rifles, whatever it is, just make sure that you look for the right mod to deal with those champions. Another thing about champions is that there are a couple of exotics that you can use that have built-in anti-barrier mods, like Unstoppable, Overload, or Anti-Barrier. The anti-barrier ones are the Lament and the Ariana. For Overload, you have the Divinity. And for Unstoppable, you have the Devil's Ruin, as well as the Leviathan's Breath. So that's another option to deal with the champions, and a lot of times they're pretty good options, especially when it comes to Anti-Barrier, Ariana, and Lament. They are amazing options that use destroyed champions. The next modifier we're looking at today is Match Game, and this is gonna make it so you have to destroy enemy shields with their matching element. So you're gonna have to shoot a solar shield with some solar damage, an arc shield with arc damage, a void shield with void damage. If you don't shoot them with their respective element, it's gonna take a long time to break the shield, and it's just not worth it. So you definitely wanna have all the elements covered for the shields that you're gonna encounter in the strike. So make sure that everyone has different types of elements in your fire team. Let's say someone has arc and void, someone has solar and arc. So what you gotta do to deal with this modifier is just make sure your fire team has different elements. Let's say someone has some solar weapons with some arc maybe. Someone has a void weapon with arc as well, and then another guy has like solar and void. Just make sure that you have different elements, so even if a person is dead, the two other remaining people are going to be able to deal with the shields. You don't want to be caught out in the situation where there's a bunch of shields that you can't really damage that much because the person that had that element was dead. So just make sure that you combine the elements around, and you don't just have one person have all the arc damage on them. And also, once you're all running different elements, you're not even gonna notice matching that much. Now the final modifier that you're gonna see on pretty much any of these strikes is equipment locked. You will not be able to change any of your gear, your subclass, not even change your ghosts when you get into the strike. So just make sure that you have everything ready, you have the right subclass, you have the right weapons, you have the anti-barrier mods on your gauntlets. Just make sure that you have everything before you go in there, because once you're in there, you're not going to be able to change anything. You're going to have to back out to do any changes. And that's pretty much it for the permanent modifiers. They're not too complicated, you just got to keep a few things in mind, and you'll be able to just breeze through these Nightfalls. Now when it comes to actually doing the Nightfall, there's nothing really super special that you gotta do to get 100k. Since you're running at a 1250, you should be at 100k usually by the time you get to the boss. If not, by the time you are around killing the boss, you should be hitting 100k. The only thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you kill every champion. Not only is it going to increase your rewards that you get when you beat the Nightfall, but the champions also give a lot of points, so they just kind of guarantee that you get the 100k. Just deal with every champion that you see. Don't leave any champions behind, because that may actually cost you the 100k. So just make sure that you kill every champion. Besides that, just do the strike normally, and you're gonna get 100k. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else that I can really talk about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this video has helped you. If it has, I don't know, leave a like, subscribe, something. Leave a comment in the comments below, whatever you want to do. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you guys next time, and have a good rest of your day.